Testing is an important part of developing any web service. We all agree, there are no doubts about it. But what about the testing process? Is it obvious? Simple? Not so much. So, would you prefer a simpler solution? I guess yes. What if there is a way to test web services without writing lots of code, which also helps your team? We've got you covered. In today's session, you will see HTTP Client in action, a special tool that ships with IntelliJ IDEA Ultimate and aims to simplify testing of web services. The live demo will cover not just the basics, but also advanced topics like streaming, file downloading, and many more. Hi everyone, thanks for joining in. I'm your host, Mala Gupta. And today I'm pleased to welcome Yuriy Artamonov from JetBrains, who will
Hi.
demonstrate HTTP. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Hi, Mala.
I messed up with the pronunciation of the last name, and I'm sorry about that. So, Yuri today will demonstrate HTTP client, which he prefers to call a secret weapon for web service testing. And Yuri, it's a pleasure to have you present today again on IntelliJ Idea Livestream.
Yeah. Thank you, Mala. It's a pleasure to me to present this material to all our audience. And I really like our functionality, and I will try to show its strong points to you guys and tell you more about our features so you will be able to use them effectively in your daily routine. And maybe you'll find the new hidden gems today and try them later. So, Mala, how is it going? Actually,
It's
how's your?
going great. It's going great, and I'm based in New Delhi, and it's really cold. And I don't like winters, and I'm sure it's colder at the place that you live.
Yeah, yeah. We also have this cloudy evening today. So what else we can do when the weather is not fine? I believe we should learn some new stuff. In this case, actually, in winter. So we may try to learn new things about HTTP client, for instance.
For sure. And before I let Yuri take the stage, I want to share some more details. Yuri works as a software developer in the IntelliJ IDEA team, and he has been developing libraries, frameworks, and tools for the past 10 years. So, Yuri, let me ask you, what is the favorite feature? What's your favorite feature in HTTP client that you're going to talk about today?
If I need to answer exactly one feature, I would say it's simplicity, because HTTP client actually uses the same syntax as your application use when they reach HTTP services. So it's basically the same HTTP protocol, and its simplicity is actually a feature, the best feature for me here.
Absolutely. And with the development of software getting more complex by the day, I think having something simpler would be a welcome for all the developers, I think. And before I let Yuri take the stage, let me share some quick housekeeping details. Everyone who's watching, please use the YouTube chat to post your questions. Yuri will answer the questions towards the end of the presentation. But you don't really have to wait till the end of the session, because Alexander from the IDEA development team and I will answer your questions as you post them. And the session is being recorded and will be hosted on IntelliJ IDEA's YouTube channel. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, now is the time to do that. And if you like today's session, which I'm sure you will, please like the video. Now, Yuri, let me add your screen to the stream and let me take myself off the stream. Good luck to you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, guys, folks, to our session. Thank you all for joining us here. Let me start our session right now. So I am working at JetBrains IntelliJ IDEA team, but also sometimes I do microservices and backend development. That's why I really like our tool called HTTP Client. And today I will try to show you more and more exciting features in this tooling available for you in our JetBrains IDEs, such as IntelliJ IDEA, PHP Storm, WebStorm, and other Ultimate IDEs. So First of all, I should mention that there are so many tools available for web service testing nowadays, from simple command line tools such as curl or HTTP, maybe UI tooling, something like Postman or Insomnia, and countless UI clients available. Also, we have 10 or maybe 15 plugins for IntelliJ IDEA available on our marketplace that are UI clients for HTTP requests. But today I will try to show you our approach to this task that involves simple file format that enables you to send HTTP requests. Yeah, and I believe you'll like it. So HTTP client is a tool available in IntelliJ IDEA, and it is based on HTTP protocol syntax. You'll see in my screen that here is a plain.htp file that just looks like a real HTTP interaction between two apps, client and server. And here we see like HTTP method, URL, some headers, and the body, and that's it. It's like when you try to send your request from your app, it will look basically like this. So that's why it is kind of simpler maybe for many people than trying to use UI or some command line tools. So let's try to see how it works. Today we have so many topics to cover. We'll try to see basic usages and integrations in IntelliJ IDEA. And after that, we'll see all the new features that are available since the previous stable release of IntelliJ IDEA. Let me start with the basics. Let's go to our IDE. Let me go to here. What is this? This is a microservice app based on Spring Framework, but it is not that important for us today. Let me just start this app. Here we have three services. It is standard REST services, users, products, payments, some domain here about these entities. And those services, they expose HTTP endpoints. And when we go to our project, let's say I'm a new guy on this project, how can I find all the services exposed by my application? There is a dedicated tool window for this, and I want to show you this view endpoints. Here we can go and find all the REST services available in this app. And let me wait for the endpoints. So we see all the Spring services available for us while we start the app. By the way, I'm starting this all three services all together using services tool window, which is available for you too. So you can use it for all the run configurations you use for development. So here we have three apps up and running. So let me go to endpoints. So here, if we open endpoints tool window, we'll find that it exposes some like endpoints. And if we try to maybe choose something, let's say /users, here we can navigate to this endpoint in code. But also right here, we like see this HTTP client tab. And this compact, I would say, panel provides you with a simple action to call your app right here without changing anything, without writing code. We just submit request and see the response right here. It is empty right now, but you can trigger your endpoints without even opening any additional files, without creating any additional files. You just go to endpoints tool window, open HTTP client tab, and that's it. We can trigger some business logic with this panel. It's like our first introduction to HTTP client. But also, if we want to deal with more complex queries, such as if we need to enter some path variables or parameters, we can go and create a special file. Let's create it. New, I don't know, it will be paths.htp. extension of the file can be either HTTP or .rest. We choose HTTP here. I will even add this file to my VCS, which is Git in my case. So you can just commit this file to Git and share it via, I don't know, GitHub, GitLab, which one you use in your daily work. So here we have this pets.htp file. Let's try to run some requests to our app. Let's start with some GET queries. Let's say GET. I want to trigger some HTTP localhost services. And here I have code completion available for me, which can find all the endpoints of the app, all the endpoints from, I don't know, OpenAPI or Swagger specification. It can also find various endpoints declared in your framework, such as Spring Framework, or maybe another framework, Micronaut, JAX-RS, something else. So here in my case, I have users, and we can go and say, okay, I want to find all the users. I will enter my headers here. Let's say I want to have JSON as a result. That's it. And now we can run this query or request. Yeah? We can go and just click here or run the corresponding intention action. We'll see the same result here because we haven't yet created any users. Let's try to enter the second request to create something. It will be post in our case. I will post data to the same, to the same endpoint, which is users, and it will be payload of the type JSON here. Yeah, if I use this special content type, JSON or maybe XML, in this case, I can start typing my body of my HTTP client, and HTTP client will understand that this is JSON actually. So I can even edit this JSON fragment in a separate tool window if I want, but I prefer inline representation here. So let me enter some parameters. Let's go to users and define which parameters are required if we need to create a new user. So here we have various usages of users endpoint. Let's go to this. And here, if we post something, we need to fill some data, and data is actually name of a user. So in my case, name will be, I don't know, Peter, for instance. Okay. And we can now go and run these requests. I will use Alt-Enter shortcut this time and use this run localhost intention. Okay. So we post, oh, no, not SSL. Yeah, I don't have SSL available for my local host. So let me repost this. Okay. So now we just sent this post request to our web service with some headers, which is content type, and the type is JSON, and body. Body here is just this JSON payload. It can be XML. It can be even binary data if you want to, I don't know, send file, for instance. It can be, I don't know, form encoded here, body, or something else. So you choose here how to write it. The only requirement here is that you have this separator, like empty line, before this body. And when we want to create one more request, we divide them or separate them with this special like block of sharps, this signs, yeah, to separate different requests here. Well, we now tried basics here and tried to send some requests to our web service. Let's think of more possible like application for this. We not only can send a single request, we can also send this all requests in file in batch. So we can just run them all together and see all the statuses here. So with time and responses, and also can open response in separate file editor as a response file. So we have this available for you. And I can go and commit this file to my VCS, as I said before. Well, great. How about parameters? If I want to pass some, I don't know, URL parameters, you say, then we just use this URL parameter as right here. And this syntax will will send the query parameter to our web service. So if you need query parameters, just append this question mark to your URL, and you will have this query parameter available. Well, great. What if I need some variables in my queries? You say, for instance, I want to use different hosts, not only local host, but sometimes I have staging environment or even maybe production environment. Then we can use special kind of files called environment file. Let me show you this action. If we go and click on Add Environment File, there are two options available. Regular, it is a not private file, which you can commit to your VCS, and it should not contain any of sensitive data. Please do not post any passwords there. It is kind of dictionary of data. Let's say dev, and in this case we'll have host. I don't know, local host 8080. It's a development host. But in case of staging, for instance, I don't know, we'll have host maybe, oh, sorry, host equal to staging 8080, for instance, or staging 80, for instance. Yeah, well, now let's try to use this host variable in our query. I go here to my this, yeah, and in this case, I will be able to send my query to the host variable, yeah. So we just use this curly braces syntax, and now we see this is connected to our environment file. This environment file is regular. It doesn't contain any sensitive data, so I can just share it through my VCS, and that's why it is marked as green. Now let's see how it is applied. If I click on my run Gutter icon, then I'll see this run with dev or run with staging environment. So if I run with dev, it goes to localhost 8080. But if I switch to staging environment, it goes to staging 80, which is a known host in my case. It is not available to in my network right now. But anyway, that's how we can use environment files and even commit them to VCS in case we need to use some parameters. Well, and if we try to run with this host, it is invalid Yuriy, of course. Well, what else we can do with all this functionality? We can not only use it to receive or send requests, but also we can navigate from here, as you already see, to the source code. So I already tried to navigate to users endpoint, and here I see all the usages of this URL path in my app, not only Spring controller, but also users client, which is client side of my microservice in the code. So using just simple go to declaration action or Ctrl+P shortcut on Windows and Linux, you will be able to go to declaration of this endpoint. So it's kind of simple navigation to this. Also, you can go to web browser if you use special intention action, Alt-Enter, open in web browser. That's how we can go and just do not copy this URL manually, but open this URL in a browser right from the code. Well, looks great. Now, how we can deal with running this query if we don't want to open them, like don't want to go and find which file contains all the requests. In the latest stable release, we announced special naming for our requests. For instance, I want to name this query as create a new user. Well, now this request will have this identifier, and if I try to use run anything shortcut, control in my case, and type just create new user, I will see all the requests with such a name available in my project. So I have various files with this the same name. In my case, it's pets HTTP. And if I just hit enter right now, it will run these requests, open services tool window, show me the result of the requests, and that's how you can easily trigger some HTTP requests without even opening this HTTP file. So it's kind of easy task for you right now. You just go and use this run anything action in your stuff. Okay. This is basic usages of our HTTP client. You can also use additional syntax, I would say. How you can learn this? First of all, I want to show you this examples link, of course. If we click it, you'll find various topics: get, post, request with authorization, with tests, what's new. And if we open some examples, like post requests, you will be able to find here various examples of how to deal with files, how to send requests with dynamic variables, and many examples of such usages. Well, that's how we explore this stuff, and that's how you can get acquainted with HTTP request syntax. But basically, this is based on existing HTTP protocol, and if you know, I don't know, CURL command line utility, or if you use HTTP PY, you will be able to use this without any differences. Just go and type your method and headers and body, and that's it, and you'll see the result. Okay, what else we can do? We can also try to test our app with our requests, not only trigger the predefined like static like request, but also try to react on the result of the request. For instance, if I want to go and write a test, like real test, like a unit test or integration test, here I can create such a block of code with this syntax. And here you'll see you can write JavaScript. Let me write it from scratch for you. Okay, so we're gonna write a new test for get. We're gonna use a predefined variable called client. We create a test, and test will be user's response is not empty, for instance. Here we declare a test function like this, and we provide some assertions. First of all, we want to check that the result, the response code of the HTTP response is okay, is 200. So we say assert response, which is predefined variable 2, and we check status, and it should be 200, and we provide some result is okay. And let's run this request. Well, it runs. If we switch to tests tab, you'll see our test is here. The user's response is not empty. It is the exact string that I entered in the editor. That's how we can add more tests. And let's add one more test, which will be not success. I don't know. Response is result is server error. Yeah, such a contradict requests. User's response is, I don't know, this. Run. And then if we go to test, we see all the test functions. One of them is okay, and one is failed. That's how we can test statuses. Well, now let's write some tests that will check response body, because we actually do not test only statuses. We need to check some data. So our response body will be, we can even navigate to API declaration of HTTP client with Ctrl+B. And body is actually a string or line stream response or object. And here we see this is response content, and it can be JSON object if response type is JSON. So we provide JSON from our web service. That's why we can easily use nested property access here and do not parse JSON manually. So we just go and let's check length of this users. We test users endpoint. Users endpoint provide list of users actually. And if we go and use a length property of array in JavaScript, it should be not null or even more than null. Okay, so length is not 0. Okay, and let's start this. So our test runs okay. And if I, let's say, change this to less than 0, it should fail. Run this, test failed 1. Okay, if we switch to test, we see this length is not 0, failure. We should go and check our application. Something went wrong. I don't know, something has happened in our application. That's like basic usage of tests in our HTTP client. You can use them like to quickly test your app, or maybe even share some test procedures. I don't know, like a acceptance test for your staging environment, for your dev environment. So you can easily run all the tests in this file and make sure your app functioning like as expected, okay, and see no failures in communication. And I don't use any like heavy technologies here, only HTTP file plus some JavaScript code, which is simple synchronous like asserts on the result of the response. Well, it's quite simple and easy to write, so you don't have any complex thing here. Well, let's maybe talk about some advanced usages. Let's say your application requires some authentication, which is our daily life. We usually protect our web services with some authentication. It can be, I don't know, not only basic, but maybe some session protection, maybe something else like OAuth 2 protocol, or maybe more advanced techniques. But anyway, how do you deal with authentication? The easiest way to deal with authentication is provide, first of all, provide authorization token in authorization header. If you use authorization header in your app to authenticate requests from your clients, you may provide token as inline data right here, like a really long token. But please don't do this. I would strongly recommend do not use this inline tokens because they expire. They should not be shared through VCS, and you should not commit to it to version control. Please instead use environment files. So if I, for instance, go and use here a variable, with name bearer token. Let's share it. Let's extract this variable to some private environment file. So it will be my own private file, which is not shared with anyone in my team. I go to add environment menu and use private option right now. So it will be private. For dev, it will be bearer token, and the value will be, I don't know, sum, for instance. And I should not add this file to VCS, so please don't. So you can go and add this pattern, like star dot private dot and JSON as files that should be excluded from version control. So in this case, it should not be committed to VCS. Well, now, if we go back to HTTP file and hit this and run it with dev environment, you'll see we provide this authorization token to our app. But this is the simplest example. Yeah, then we already have token. We should not like go and authenticate. What if we need additional means for authentication, such as OAuth 2.0 protocol? Let me go to the second example project here and close all this, run the app. This app is using a separate authentication service. Maybe you know this. It is called Keycloak. Keycloak is a well-known product for authentication. It provides various means for authentication and role management and user management and many more. Now it is running inside my Docker environment. So let me show you my Docker Compose file. So it is a Keycloak Docker container. I have predefined users here in JSON file, and this service exposed on this port on my machine. And my app requires authentication token to proceed with some queries. Let's say if I go and try to use my endpoint, like API users me, without any authentication headers, without authorization header, and go and run this, well, it says unauthorized. So you haven't provided any authorization tokens. How we should deal with it? First of all, we go and obtain this OAuth 2 token, and I have a special HTTP request for that in this file. So I just post some payload, which is form, and it includes my client ID, it includes my password, grant type, and just hit here. It will respond with access token. So I can go and copy this access token to my private file. Well, I used pets.admin this time. So I have different environments for different users. So pets.admin have this access token. And if now I go and use this pets.admin environment and pass my access token to my service, well, it responds with pets.admin. Nice. So I see the result of the request. And if I need to go and run my request with different user, I use pets.user environment file, and it responds with pets.user. So nice. We can easily store this success token thing in a private environment JSON file and do not share it through DCS, and just use it as a variable. Do not change and do not inline your tokens to HTTP file. Just use your environment as a provider of this token thing. Nice. Okay. So what if now we want to use not simple request that just responds with text, but what if our service respond with some binary data? I don't know, maybe image, or maybe something else, maybe file, or I don't know. let me show you how to deal with it. First of all, let's find some endpoint that provides binary data. In my case, it will be the most hated thing of this year. Of course, this is QR code. You know this. Yeah, and because everyone should need this, should have this. And we will generate a request here. So you can either use this drop-down or hit on line marker here to generate HTTP request. So I will go and get this qr.png file with authorization. Let me go run, and that's it. And if this response can be interpreted somehow by HTTP client, for instance, it is an image, I don't know, maybe PNG or JPEG or PNP image, IntelliJ IDEA will show you result as an image, as an actual image in your services tool window. So you'll see the preview of this file. But also, if you don't need to see this preview, you can scroll down and click on result file. Yeah, it will open separate file viewer for you of your operating system. So you can also go and just click on the result hyperlink to see the resulting response of the server. That's how we improved our response view recently in the latest IntelliJ IDEA version. Okay. Sometimes our service will not respond, but instead provide redirects. Let's talk about redirects. Yeah. In my case, I have some Spring service which do not do any real work, but instead it responds with found HTTP response and redirects to some animated GIF available on our website. If I go and just try to request this resource, well, let me check this. Should be download, handshake. It's forbidden. Let's admin. Yeah, it actually silently redirects me to some resource, which is research.jetbrains.com. I don't see why this SSL error here, but I see that my response is not shown. Response is actually a redirect. How to see the actual redirect? There are special options available for you. If you prepend your request with this no redirect directive, and you can check all the available options with code completion here, then our HTTP client will show the regional response from your service. So now we see this response code here, which is found, not a SSL error when we try to reach to resource at JetBrains.com, but the actual response of our service. So that's how you can deal with various options for your interactions. It is not only no redirect, but also we have no cookie, no log, use OS credentials. So you can use this special options in HTTP client to tune behavior of execution of HTTP requests. What else we can do? In the recent release of IntelliJ IDEA, we also supported streaming of results. Let's say we have some endpoint which try to fetch data from database, and it takes so long that we cannot wait for all the results, but instead we want to show them right at the moment when they are available to user. So we streaming data from our database to our clients so they can show some progress instead of waiting for all the data available. Let's go and try to check this. For instance, if we have such a request that uses stream plus JSON content type. Let's hit this with our HTTP client. Oh, it's empty. With what should I do? That's admin, not authorized. Let me check my credentials. Maybe it's pets.user. Nope. Let me check the app. What's going on here? Well, we started the app. We hit. Oh, we do not provide authentication, of course. I forgot about the authentication. Let me provide some authentication here. So authorization. Well, it should be there. Run with pets.admin. Okay. Now what we see that server respond with this special kind of response application JSON stream plus JSON, and we see results, and they coming to our response. That's how we deal with streaming responses, and that's how we can test them. Like in our HTTP client, see all the results. It simply provides time when it generated a new result. So we just stop this. We should not wait for infinite results because they are infinite. We should not wait for the response data completed. Okay, that's how we deal with streams and in HTTP client. You just go get this. We detect content type, so we read this, and that's how we deal with it. Also, we support text stream, so not only stream plus JSON, but also if you use stream plus text, it will also be handled by us, and you will see this coming data to your output. Well, what if at some point we wanna collect all the data to some file, because we want to have all these responses somewhere. Let's see how to deal with it. Then we just use this redirection syntax, like data.json. Let's run this, and this request should collect all the data that is coming to this data.json file for us, actually. Yeah, that's how we redirect response here. Stop. Where is my file? Well, let me check the maybe some finite, not infinite, but some endpoint where we have results right after the. And we go and use pets with admin users, and it is empty. Well, this, but access token, which is pets.user. Well, let me go and try to pets admin. No, not this. Let me go in here. Yeah, I should use this because I have my environment file here, and it is not available in this second file. Sorry. Well, it will be data.json in my case, and in this case, data will be saved not to this predefined file, but to my file that I just mentioned here. So response file saved, and it will be HTTP request data.json. That's how you can redirect the result of the request to any file, or even rewrite it or append it. There are various options available for you. Please check them if you want to have this fixed name of file available for you. Well, that's not everything we have in HTTP client. This release, we also introduced special support for gRPC protocol. So you can not only send plain HTTP requests, but also send some requests to gRPC services. Let me start with this. I have this gRPC service in my app called greeting service. Like it's just greet someone. It is implemented as Java program, uses Google gRPC implementation. Let's start our server. It should be running on 8080 port, like a HTTP server, but it requires binary request response in proto format. And I want to test this gRPC service. How can I deal with it? I go to my proto file, find my service, and just click on this line marker to generate this request here. Let's say I want to greet someone. I don't know, maybe should provide some parameters. I go and use auto-completion here to see all the parameters of my payload, which are mentioned in the proto file. I will use name. Let's provide some, I don't know, maybe Bob. And we run this. Okay, and the server will respond with hello there, Bob. So what is going on here? We have a dedicated method here called gRPC, which is reserved for gRPC implementation of HTTP client. It hits greeting service, and we can even navigate to proto file and its method greeting with this payload in proto format, of course, and we receive this response. So now you can not only test plain REST services, web services, but also gRPC services using our integrated solution. So you should not even open any additional tools, download any additional command line utilities. Just go and use this. This is not the only way we can start. Let's remove everything. Let's say I don't see this proto file. I don't have it in mind where it is available. Instead, I go and just write gRPC. I have localhost. I see all the services in auto-completion. Let's say greeting service. And its greeting here is also here. And I provide the same payload for name, I don't know, Sally, for instance. That's how I can explore my gRPC services without even opening any specifications in my project and just go and test them. So please enjoy, use, try in your daily routine. Maybe it should help you somehow to deal with your daily tasks. Fine. Well, let's recap this. So this release, we have tons of new features. Please try them. We provide you with binary data preview. We supported text streams and JSON streams. We provide you with a gRPC client. Also supported by various output redirection options. And we supported HTTP request identifiers, so you will be able to identify them, run them from run anything, find them, share them, and many more. So please check our What's New page of IntelliJ IDEA to learn more about all those features and how to deal with them. But also, this time, I want to say huge thank you to our community, because our community is so awesome. We have, in this release, previous release, our user, Linux China, released a separate plugin on top of our HTTP client, which makes it possible to not only test HTTP and gRPC built-in options, but also brings our socket support to HTTP client. So thank you. Please subscribe to their Twitter. Twitter handle is the same, Linux China. Huge thanks from IntelliJ IDEA team to you folks. Please, all your extra plugins for IntelliJ IDEA are very welcome. Thank you. Please try our socket request and HTTP client plugin if you use our socket in your apps. So we really enjoy having these extra plugins on top of our HTTP client. And we have more plans. Actually, we will try to bring different protocols to HTTP client soon. We are thinking of GraphQL right now. Maybe we will talk about something else. to, if you have any feedbacks on which feature, let's say, is missing in our HTTP client, please reach out to our issue tracker. We always read all the issues from you folks. Please don't hesitate to post them, upvote them. We have a couple of highly voted issues, and we checking how to deal with them right now. You can also check our documentation, which is available in IntelliJ IDEA documentation. All the examples mentioned here today available there. I will also share this presentation after the session, so you'll be able to check this links again. Well, I believe that's all, folks, from me today. We should have many questions right now. Let's try to answer them all. Mala.
First of all, thank you so much, Yuriy. It was a great session. I was about to jump in to remind you about the time, but you finished right in time. So that was amazing. We had a lot of questions, but Alex did an amazing job of answering a lot of questions. A lot of participants were also answering each other queries. So that's, again, amazing. I'll quickly jump on to the first question. So one question which was asked by multiple attendees was, can I use a response from one request as a request parameter for another one? For example, auto update of access token.
Yeah, right now it is possible to only store some response to file and then supply this file from this disk file to the second requests. We are thinking of some pre-processing for results, let's say JSON path or X path pre-processing for results. So you will be able to query some data from the result and use it as a variable later. Right now we are in the middle of designing the solution and thinking how we can bring this. If you have some thoughts or maybe even desired solution for you, please reach out to our bug tracker and don't hesitate to post your even feature requests. If you think of some feature, it is really good to know about it. From our side, we really like all the feedbacks you guys providing on HTTP client.
Right. And so, Yuriy, I was not able to concentrate completely on the presentation because I was trying to keep a track on the questions. So if there is any question which you already answered in your session, you can just say so.
Sure.
So the other question is it possible to inject dynamic values, for example, authentication data from external files or shell service call?
Yeah, right now we are injecting external data from environment files, which is kind of static. I would say it is not that possible right now to hook into the dynamic part with JavaScript. We should think of it. It's not yet available. Sorry.
Okay. The other question is, how does one convert their existing curl requests?
How does one? Sorry, could you please repeat this?
Can HTTP client be used to convert the existing curl request that they already have, CURL request?
Yes. Let's say if you used some CURL request, or maybe you stumble upon some CURL example on the internet and you want to use it in your HTTP file, there is a special option, convert a CURL to HTTP request. We just have this right here. We click convert, and then we have this syntax available for you. So we just process all the options of CURL, convert them to HTTP client options, and you use HTTP client instead of CURL right now.
Okay, and the other question is it possible to run all the requests in batch?
Yeah, I already mentioned that. If you want to run all the requests, it is right here on top of all the options. So we just click run all requests with we choose environment, dev, staging, or no environment, and they all run in batch. You see all the results, some they fail, some they will succeed, and you see all the statuses in the services tool window.
Right. How can a developer deal with the cookies?
Yeah, by default, HTTP client stores cookies provided by your web service automatically. So let's say if you go and log in using password authentication with some, I don't know, post request, and your service respond with a set cookie header, so you receive some cookie. HTTP client stores this cookie on disk and then sends it again to this service when you will send subsequent queries. Yeah, so it will manage them automatically, but also it is always available here as header value. You may provide your own cookie values as part of cookie header manually if needed.
Thank you so much. I think Alex has answered all the remaining questions, and we are already seeing a lot of thanks messages. So there were a lot of good comments, and people are really appreciating the content, and they really liked your live demo today. So thank you,
Thank
Yuriy.
you.
Again, a pleasure to have you present.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, folks. See you again. Maybe next time we have different topic and different conversation. Thank you.
And yes, before we say bye, I want to thank everyone who is involved. Ida from the marketing team, Sergey from the video team, and Alex, of course, from IntelliJ Idea team for making this happen and for helping and another amazing session, I would say. And everyone who's watching and following IntelliJ Idea live stream, we have another session lined up next month, which is on 16th of February. So stay tuned for the details. And until then, bye.
Bye-bye.